Our world is always a struggle between choosing an easy life with short-term rewards and a disciplined life with long-term significant rewards. Both choices come with their own cost. You either pay the price of discipline or the price of regret. We will pay one or the other. Discipline means doing the right things consistently, even when it's hard. Regret comes from looking back and wishing we had made different choices. It's wise to choose discipline because it's a lighter burden to carry. Regrets, on the other hand, can be heavy and hard to bear. Think about this. Would you rather stick to good habits now or feel sorry later? It's like what an old prophet once said. What if you gained everything you wanted but lost your soul? No amount of success is worth losing what truly matters. Trading your soul for worldly gains would leave you feeling bitter and devastated. Imagine if you got ahead in life through greed instead of honest ambition. It might feel good at first, but eventually it would turn sour. I got rich by the time I was 31, and it was easy. By easy, I mean it was something I could do. If it's something you can do, it's easy. But don't get me wrong. I worked hard at it. I found something within my abilities and I gave it my all. I woke up early, stayed up late, and put in the effort for 6 years. That's the kind of discipline that pays off without the heavy burden of regret. What I did was easy, meaning it was something I could do. You might wonder, if it was so easy, why didn't everyone else around you get rich in those 6 years? The answer is simple. It's also easy not to do. You might think, no, for everyone else it was hard, but for you it was easy. That's not true. This isn't something you can argue against in front of a wise audience. Here's the real challenge, and let me put it in a philosophical way. I like to think philosophically sometimes. Here it is. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. That's the key difference between success and failure. When something is easy to do, like reading a book, saving money, or exercising, it's also easy to skip it. Success comes from doing these easy things consistently, while failure comes from neglecting them. Today you have a choice between two options: doing something easy or not doing it. Let me share with you how I became rich by the time I was 31 in just one sentence. Here it is. I did not neglect to do the easy things I could do every day for 6 years. The important part to remember is I did not neglect. That's the key. I found something simple and easy that I could do, and I made sure to do it consistently. The difference between success and failure often comes down to whether or not you neglect these easy tasks. I chose not to neglect them, and that's what made all the difference. The main reason why many people in America don't have everything they want, whether it's better health, more money, greater power, or more influence, comes down to one simple word: neglect. Neglect is like an infection. If you don't take care of it, it turns into a serious disease. Here's the trouble with neglect. One small act of neglect leads to another. If you neglect to handle your money wisely, you'll likely neglect to use your time wisely. If you neglect to manage your time well, you'll probably neglect to take care of your business properly. One form of neglect leads to another, and before you know it, neglect has taken control of your life. It drains your finances, your heart, and your chances for success and happiness. If you should be walking around the block every day for your health, but you don't, you're heading down the wrong path. You know you should do it, and you know you could do it, but you just don't do it. This is a recipe for disaster. If you let neglect build up over 6 years, you'll find yourself in a place you never wanted to be. You might be driving a car you don't like, wearing clothes you don't want to wear, living in a place you don't want to live, doing a job you don't want to do, and becoming someone you never intended to become. Neglect can take over your life and strip away all your values, leaving you with nothing but emptiness. That's where I found myself at age 25, until my teacher came along and said, "Mr. Rohn, you've messed up so far. Let's see if we can fix that and change everything." And I did. I changed my life, not just financially, but in every aspect. All the good things came pouring in when I realized that the problem was me. The greatest value of discipline is self-worth and self-esteem. Today, people talk a lot about self-esteem, but they don't always link it to discipline. Yet, it's discipline that builds self-worth and confidence. When you consistently do the right things, even when they're easy, you build a foundation of self-respect and strength. That's how you avoid neglect and achieve the life you truly want. The smallest lack of discipline can start to harm our minds. One of the biggest temptations is to relax just a little bit, right? Even a tiny bit of not doing your best begins to weaken your mind. Instead of giving your best effort, you start to do just a little less. You might think it's only going to affect my work, but that's not true. It affects your mind and your way of thinking. Just like that, you begin to change your own philosophy. Here's the issue with even the slightest neglect. It begins as a small problem, but if you don't address it, it becomes a big problem. One act of neglect leads to another. The worst part is that neglect decreases our self-worth, self-confidence, and self-value. You might wonder, how can I regain my self-respect? You don't need to take 30 or 40 classes for that. All you need to do is start with the smallest act of discipline that aligns with your own beliefs, like saying, I should, I could, and I will. Decide that you will no longer let neglect pile up on you, leading to a situation where 6 years from now, you're making excuses instead of celebrating your progress. That's the key to discipline. Start small, stay consistent. And you'll avoid the sorry scenario of regret and instead enjoy the rewards of your efforts. In my last seminar, I recommended a little book called Richest Man in Babylon. Over the past 33 years, I've spoken to more than 4 million people, and I've suggested this book to almost all of them. Guess how many have actually gone and got this book? Very few. My best guess is about 10%. It's such an easy thing to do. In that last seminar, I mentioned this little book. First, it's easy to find. Second, it's easy to buy. The most you'll pay for it is $6, $7, maybe $8. Despite how simple it is to get this book, most people still don't do it. This shows how easy it is to neglect even the smallest actions that can lead to success. If you take the time to get and read this book, you'll gain valuable insights. So don't let this easy opportunity pass you by. And number 3, it's easy to read. It's written as a story. That's why I recommend it for teenagers, teaching them how to become rich by 40. If you're extra bright, maybe by 35. Even sooner if you find a unique opportunity. So if this book is easy to find, easy to buy, and easy to read, why doesn't everyone get it? We don't know. What do you know? You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Here's the reality. Some people do and some people don't. Here are the numbers. About 10% of people actually get the book. 90% don't or won't. We don't understand why. And I'm telling you, 10 years from now, those numbers will still be the same. 10% will get it, 90% won't. The numbers stay the same. Only the faces change. I used to be one of the 90% who couldn't be bothered, even if it was easy. Guess how many people have a library card? The wisdom of the world is available for free, and it can transform your life. How much does a library card cost in Texas? It's free. Free means easy. It can't get any easier than free. Someone might say, well, would you bring it to me? No. At least you have to go get it yourself, but it's free and easy. The question is, will you take that small step? The wisdom of the world is available to you. It can transform your life in every way, spiritually, socially, personally, economically, and more. It can teach you how to be rich, powerful, sophisticated, healthy, and influential. But how many people actually take advantage of this? Very few. Only about 3% of people have a library card. The majority, about 95 to 97%, don't bother. They might spend their time at happy hour instead, but don't have a library card. These same people often blame the government, their company, policies, and their pay scale for their problems. But here's the thing, if they only knew the power of joining the 3%, their lives could change dramatically. Here's my advice to you today. Walk away from the 97%. Don't go where they go. Don't talk like they talk. Don't act like they act. And don't focus on what they focus on. Throw away the list of excuses they cling to. Start a new life. You might wonder, is it really as simple as getting a library card and joining the 3%? The answer is yes. It is that simple. This stuff is easy and straightforward. You don't need a 2,000-year-old guru. And affirmations without discipline lead to delusion. Don't let anyone lead you astray. Nature itself teaches us that without hard work, the miracle of seeds growing in soil, the changing seasons, sunshine, rain, and all the wonders of the world won't benefit you. You can't just affirm it into existence. You have to work for it. So work hard, learn well, and discipline yourself. When you do, you can have all the treasures you desire. It's simple and easy. Develop the ability to take action. Act when necessary. Don't rush if you don't need to, but don't waste time either. The best time to act is when your idea is fresh and your emotions are strong. That's when you should move forward. You might say, Mr. Rohn, I'd love to have a library like yours. If you feel strongly about that, you need to start by getting the first book, then the second book, before the feeling fades and the idea becomes unclear. Take action quickly, as soon as possible. If you don't, you'll fall victim to the law of diminishing intent. When an idea strikes us and emotions are high, we intend to act. But if we don't take action soon, our intent starts to diminish. A month from now, the idea is cold. A year from now, it's forgotten. So act when your emotions are strong and the idea is clear. When someone talks about good health and you feel inspired, think, I need to get a book on nutrition, get that book before the feeling fades. Start your library and begin the process. Get on the floor and do some push-ups. Take action. If you don't, the wisdom is wasted, and the emotion will soon pass unless it's turned into disciplined activity. Capture that emotion and wisdom and turn it into something real through discipline. Disciplines help you capture emotions and wisdom and translate them into valuable outcomes. All disciplines affect each other. When you develop one discipline, it positively influences others. So start now, take action when you're motivated, and let your disciplined actions build on each other for lasting success. A good philosophical idea is that everything affects everything else. Nothing exists by itself. Don't think that some things don't matter, everything does. While some things are more important than others, everything is significance. We often feel sorry for the person who says, this is the only area where I fall short. But that's not true. The important lesson to learn is that every failure or weakness impacts your overall performance. Every setback influences the rest of your actions. Understanding this is a key part of personal development. So, remember, no matter how small something seems, it matters. Every detail counts and plays a role in your growth and success. If you don't take a walk around the block, you probably won't eat an apple a day. If you don't eat an apple a day, you probably won't start building your library. If you don't build your library, you probably won't keep a journal. Make wise decisions with your money, use your time well, or take care of your relationships. After 6 years of this, you will have created a big mess in your life. The key to fixing this is to start picking up good habits. Now, here's the positive side. Every new good habit affects all your other habits. Each new one helps improve the rest. That's why taking action is so important. Even the smallest action matters. When you start doing something and see its benefits, it will motivate you to do more. If you start walking around the block, it might inspire you to eat an apple. Eating an apple might inspire you to read a book. Reading a book might inspire you to keep a journal, and this will inspire you to grow and develop new skills. All habits influence each other. Every bad habit affects the rest of your habits, and every good habit does too. The key is to reduce bad habits and start good ones. This will help you begin a whole new life process. Let's teach our kids simple ways to improve their lives. First, focus on their health. Second, teach them about managing money. Third, help them improve their communication skills. Fourth, show them how to take care of their lifestyle and valuables. Fifth, guide them in their spiritual growth. And the list goes on. We shouldn't skip any small habits that encourage us to do more. When we adopt one good habit, it makes it easier to adopt another, and then another. Soon you'll find your life getting better and more in control instead of falling apart. This is all you need to do. It's as simple as starting and committing yourself to making life changes. Once you start on this path, I promise you'll be among the top 10% or even the top 3% of people. Do you know how many people can retire comfortably on their own savings? Only 5%. In the most independent country in the world, 95% of people rely on others when they retire. Only 5% are truly independent. Let's work on becoming part of that 5% by starting with these simple steps. Take control of your own retirement. You can increase your retirement savings by 5 times, maybe 10 times, maybe even 20 or 100 times. If you let the government or a company handle it, your savings will be much less. Take charge of your own life. Manage your day, your conversations, your family, and your opportunities. Learn these skills and develop a good strategy. When you do this, your life will improve greatly. Aim to be among the top 3%, 10%, or 5% of successful people. Leave the 95% behind. Guess when I got the book Richest Man in Babylon? The same day I heard about it, I went and got it. Someone asked me, Mr. Rohn, does that make you different from most people? The answer is yes, of course. They ask, why is it we don't know? None of us knows why some people act and some don't. The numbers stay the same, only the faces change. Some people join a seminar like this, listen to a powerful sermon, read a book, listen to recordings, or take a friend's serious advice and do something about it. By doing these things, you can leave the 97% and not live there anymore. If you don't change, the next 6 years of your life will be just like the last 6. Mr. Shoaff told me, Mr. Rohn, you've been working for 6 years. If you don't make personal changes, the next 6 years will be the same as the last. I made those changes and it completely transformed my life. So look at the next 5 years of your life. They will be like the last 5 unless you make changes. If you change, everything will change. Aim to be in the top 5%. 10 years from now, the overall numbers will be the same, but some faces will change. You can be one of those faces that move into the top 3%, 5%, or 10% and significantly improve your life and future.